This is Jarrod Horak, and I'm back with my final video this week from Del Mar. I took a look at the Del Mar Debutante, and for that race, I went through all the contenders and gave out my top choice in my video. I'm going to do the same thing here, and as I said in that race, I'm going to write an article at todaysracingdigest.com, and I'm going to go through and break down the pace scenario, the final time ratings. I'm going to give out my contenders first to last, and I'm going to have wagering strategies, just like I did in the Pacific Classic. Just like I did in the Del Mar Debutante, I'm going to do the same thing in the Del Mar Futurity. Now, remember to go over to todaysracingdigest.com to read all of my handicapping articles. I did a bunch of articles from Saratoga this summer, been covering some stuff from Del Mar as well, and just check all of those articles out at todaysracingdigest.com. And now we will get into the analysis of this video now. The 10th race at Del Mar. This is the Grade 1 $300,000 Del Mar Futurity for 2-year-olds traveling 7 furlongs on the main track. This race will be run closing day, Sunday, September 10th, and the scheduled post time, 8:59 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to have a big favorite breaking from the inside post, Prince of Monaco for trainer Bob Baffert. Valiant is going to ride again. He rode this one last time out. They paid $950,000 for this son of Speightstown. The Medaglia d'Oro is the dam sire here. And for this one, the career debut, he was outstanding at Los Alamitos. He was 5 cents on the dollar in a 4-horse field. He broke a step slow. He was able to get right up on top of the pace, and then he just romped him. Such an easy win by 8 lengths. Second start, his stablemate Muth was the heavy favorite in the Grade 3 Best Pal Stakes, but Muth got caught in a speed duel, and Prince of Monaco sat off of that speed duel, and he just kicked away in the stretch. He won by more than 4 lengths. Now, Flavien Prat had come into town. He left Saratoga to come to ride this horse in the Best Pal Stakes on August 13th. And now he's back to ride this one again. Saratoga's meet's over now, but Prat is definitely going to stick with this promising 2-year-old. And for him, I think if others want the lead, they're going to let them go. He's probably going to want to try to stalk the pace, and maybe Prat's going to want to try to get off the rail at some point. But if he runs back to that last race, I think they're all running for second. That was an impressive, visually impressive victory. Valiant Knight is next, and this one he's 3 for 6 with a second and a third. So he's had some success, but at lesser tracks. A stakes win, a little minor stakes win last time. He stalked and he won. But if you look at his overall speed ratings at those lesser tracks that he's been running at, don't match up with these. I can see him maybe stalking the pace, but I think he's going to be a huge long shot in here, and I would be very surprised if he made a big impact. Mirahmadi is the second Baffert trainee. They paid more than $1 million for this one. Into Mischief is the sire. Malibu Moon, the dam sire. More Chocolate, a stakes winner, is the dam here. He's been disappointing in his career. He was 60 cents on the dollar in his career debut. Tranch trounced him that day, and he ended up finishing second in that 5-horse field. That was at Santa Anita at 5 furlongs on June 17th. His second start, but that was the fastest Tipton Stakes. So they did start him in a stakes race, but that early on, you can see first-timers can certainly win those, and he was supposed to be better than he showed in his debut. So then second time out, he was the favorite again in a maiden special weight race at Del Mar, July 23rd. And in that race, he stalked the pace, and he just came up empty. He was just flat. He was 4th, beaten 3 lengths. Raging Torrent won that one, and he's back in this race. And then last time out, they stretched him out to a 1-mile race on August 26th. And he was attending the pace, and then he took the lead, and then he opened up by 1.5 lengths. It looked like maybe he would graduate there. He was 70 cents on the dollar, but he weakened to finish 3rd. He was placed 4th through disqualification because of an erratic stretch run. So now this one, leading rider Juan Hernandez will stick with this one, but he hasn't run fast enough. Actually, his speed ratings are dropping, and he's one that it's hard to recommend this one. He comes from a very good barn, good connections. Just based on that, he'll probably take some money, but I think that his stablemate has much more potential to win this race. Raging Torrent is number 4. Antonio Frisu will ride for trainer Doug O'Neill, a decent jockey trainer team here. He won his debut 5 furlongs at Del Mar, stalking the pace and acting very professional that day. After breaking slow and then tracking outside, jockey lost the whip, 9-horse field, and he won by more than 2 lengths. He was 9-1 in his debut, and then he hooked Prince of Monaco last time out, and Prince of Monaco dusted him. Muth was second. he sat a decent stalking trip, but he couldn't really gain on Muth, who I mentioned was stuck in that speed duel that day. But Prince of Monaco was moving much better from off the pace, and he just kicked away, and he finished more than 8 lengths in front of Raging Torrent. So he's going to have to run a much better race if he expects to get close to the favorite in this race. Rothschild is next for trainer Tim Yakteen. This is a $700,000 son of Uncle Mo. Ramon Vazquez will ride. In his career debut against Torrent, he had post 6 in a 9-horse field. He was stalking wide, and he ended up just racing evenly, finishing 5th, beaten less than 5 lengths. In his second start, 6.5 furlongs at Del Mar, he was 7-1. Much better effort. He post 1, they went right out on top this time. 22-4 opening quarter, 46-4 for the half. He was a length and a half in front. He widened throughout. He won by more than 5 lengths. So a much better effort and a much faster race second time out. They paid a lot for him. Overall, he has a lot of potential. He should be forwardly placed in this extended sprint. I don't think this extra distance will cause him any trouble whatsoever. He went from 5 furlongs to 6.5 to now 7. I think he's got a nice progression going here, but he's going to have to step up his game to defeat the favorite. Next level is a bit interesting for trainer Keith Desormeaux. Vino Rosso is the sire, Medaglia d'Oro the dam sire, and the stakes place dam Devious d'Oro. So this one has a decent pedigree, and they only pay $20,000. This is Keith Desormeaux's MO. He likes to buy horses for bargain prices, and then he races his stock into shape. In this one's career debut, the Fasig-Tipton Stakes, he was 19-1, so he was dead on the board. He ended up running last throughout in that race. As I said, Keith Desormeaux doesn't typically fire first time out. He was just giving that horse the experience. Second time out, he ran a much better race. From post 1, he ended up dueling on the lead, 22-1, 45-4 for the half. He was only a half length up. He still had the lead in the stretch, and he kept fighting on, and he was second to Bob Baffert trainee Mission Beach, and he was a length and a quarter behind that one. Now, Mission Beach came back in the Hopeful Stakes at Saratoga, and he was battling on a quick pace there. All the pace horses collapsed that day, so Mission Beach couldn't keep going on that pace. So I won't hold that one against him. But I think Mission Beach is a decent horse. Next level ran a much better race second time out. Keith Desormeaux and Kent Desormeaux, the brothers, and they stick together here. And I can see this one continuing to improve. As I said, Keith D, he likes to race his stock into shape. I think this one should continue to develop. And no reason why he couldn't handle 7 furlongs in here. He's still a maiden, but I think at least for the exotics, you can use him. Mary's Boat Boy for Mick Ruiz. And Mick Ruiz trained the sire of this horse, Boat Doro. And I was a fan of Boat Doro. And I was a big fan of the dam sire here as well, Pioneer of the Nile. He was my Kentucky Derby horse the year he ran in the Derby and finished second. And I picked him in the Preakness too, and Rachel Alexandra stumped him that day. But for Mary's Boat Boy, he really improved second time out. His first career start, he was 47-1, and he was 9th, beaten 20 lengths in a 9-horse field. He was off slow. He came up empty. Second time out, he was 50-1, and he rallied from 6th place, and he really woke up there, and he won by a nose. Much better effort. His speed figure really advanced, but still his speed figure is much lower than the other horses in this race. So this race certainly goes through Prince of Monaco, and I'm not going to pick against him in here. That Best Pal was fast. I just think that this group, I think Muth probably even in this race would have been a solid favorite if Prince of Monaco wasn't in here. I just think he faced better horses. He just stomped his competition in his debut by 8 lengths, won by more than 4 lengths last time. So back-to-back wins by a combined more than 12 lengths. He dueled first time. He stalked second time. So he looks versatile. That race in the Best Pal, pretty fast. And I just think, just looking at his competition, he's meeting some maidens in here. And he just looks much the best on paper. So I can't go against Prince of Monaco in this spot. And he will be my top choice. And again, go over to todaysracingdigest.com to read my article about this race where I'll break down the pace scenario. I'll go through the final time ratings. I'll give out my contenders first to last. And I will recommend some wagering strategies for this race. And that will wrap up my videos for Del Mar this summer. And I had fun doing these videos at Del Mar and Saratoga. And I'll continue to do more as we build up to the 2023 Breeders' Cup. So keep checking todaysracingdigest.com for all of the articles that I'm writing. We're going to have a lot of Breeders' Cup coverage about Triple Crown 2024 coverage. I'm going to be doing videos as that Road to the Derby series will be starting at Churchill Downs with the Iroquois Stakes and then the Pocahontas for the Kentucky Oaks Fillies. So I'm going to be covering all of the points races and a lot of other stuff for today's RacingDigest.com in videos, articles, etc. So until I see you next time, good luck at the races.